Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode 4 of the Idiot Savants podcast. It has been a little bit since our last upload, like probably 2 weeks or so to be exact. A lot's happened since we last posted a video, so it's should be make for a very interesting episode. the is that what was it, the Capitol? That was an interesting one. That whole incident. Our president
Yeah,
has been
dude.
impeached twice now.
Yeah, what happened with that?
This
How
is
did
very
Bro, he got impeached on grounds of like encouraging violent action or
yeah.
something.
They said he
I
was
don't know.
inciting violence at the Capitol, so that was good enough grounds for an impeachment, and then the vote
was that like the
went
Article
through.
4 thing? Or whatever? In Section 4, whatever the fuck?
Honestly, have no
Yeah.
idea.
Pretty crazy. I mean, I was at the Capitol storming it and nothing happened to me, but I had some friends there that
A capped, huh?
Uh-huh.
Crazy. That shit's really like
Unfortunately,
a cult.
dude, it actually is like straight up.
Some of those
It's
pictures
kind
were
of
pretty
scary.
wild.
Yeah, like, do you guys remember that mission in Modern Warfare 2 where you had to like take back the White House and there's all those like trenches all around the White House? Somebody was like, "Bro, it's what the Capitol building's gonna look like." That shit was
Y-
crazy though.
Yo, you know how Republicans are always like, let's take the warning labels off of stuff and let natural selection figure it out. You ever heard Republicans say that?
Yeah, because they
I
hate
have
the
not.
I'm just saying, I don't want to hear shit about that lady in Washington.
The picture taken of all the people climbing the wall, and then somebody slapped an Assassin's Creed logo on it. I thought that shit was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then there's like the uh the clip of her getting shot was actually like crazy because like she basically the way that I've been to the Capitol and I was in the hallway that she like got shot in.
Yeah.
And the reason why they shot her was because that's where the rotunda is. Like she was really, really close to actually like putting like representatives and senators in harm's way. So the doors are like it's a huge door and then there's like windows and she climbed one of the top windows and homie was just strapped up as soon as she like
Yeah.
peeked in and then everyone was like like they were like super shocked. Like the dude pointing the gun there for like 20 minutes wasn't like ready to shoot. Like I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I
I
guess
used to
like,
think that like white privilege was like relatively non-existent, but I guess like the reactions of people seeing one of their fellow whites go down and just like shook them up. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
we're not unstoppable." Oh shit.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
definitely
I guess
funny.
it's not good that like anybody dies, right? So like,
yeah, no,
but
I agree with that. I wish that nobody would have died, and I don't think that
also like,
that's people.
don't
I
try
don't
to
think
storm the
anybody wishes that.
Capitol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, the
probably
only
not
people
the
who have more
brightest.
guns in the South are the government. So like, you
yeah.
can't you can't go fucking like I don't know.
Pretty much, like a lot of the stuff I was hearing about it was people are like, oh well, BLM rioted as well, but I think it's different, and you guys can tell me what you think about this, but I think the purpose is different. Does that make sense? I think that a BLM protest would make like a little more sense in my mind than like storming a Capitol for like an election loss. But that
Yeah.
might just be my opinion. I don't
Well,
know. Like,
so like I guess what I would say, and I've thought about this a good bit. I've majored in political science and I'm minor in philosophy, so I try to think about these things a good bit before I go giving opinions on them. But if you think um political violence like has good efficacy, like you also have to be willing to take um the repercussions of that violence. So,
right?
if you think burning down buildings will keep like black people from getting killed or like necessitate police reform and you're okay with that, then, I guess in my mind, as long as it turns out to be so, then I guess you're justified in doing your action. But, you know, like I don't think I don't think when you're like rioting and burning down buildings and stuff, I don't know if anybody's super surprised people are going to jail or like people might be getting like hostile confrontations with the police.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is why I find it very strange that these people who are storming the Capitol are also like very shocked that somebody or like a few people died.
I think it's like five, right?
Yeah, so
I don't think any like rational person is shocked
I
by
mean, that
it.
has to be like all QAnon, right? Like they
Yeah.
are going to try and keep Trump in office because he's got to stop the cabal or whatever, you know. So that's why like there's nothing you can do to stop them. They're like completely brainwashed by some like conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
anybody that
obviously,
would support that incident in the first place is probably not in like a super good state of mind to
yeah.
be
Like
prepared for the
obviously,
consequences of it.
I support the purpose of like BLM riots more than I support the purpose of storming the Capitol. Um, although like my ideals about like is political violence okay is different, but like if you really think that storming the Capitol is gonna get through your political ideology and necessity change you want to see, I guess I'm not necessarily against you doing so, although I might not agree with what you're doing it for.
Right.
But like I wouldn't like run around being like, "Oh my God, somebody got shot." It's like, okay, well you stormed the nation's capital,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally tried to necessitate a coup. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you expected.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
I agree
that's
with that.
yeah. That's definitely not good for Trump though.
Yeah, I actually made a
No.
$100 bet with my uncle that they were gonna make him the nominee again, but every single day he exists, it just my chances keep getting lesser and lesser. I'm gonna lose $100.
Yeah, he was trying to go out like relatively better than how he was maintaining things in office. Like he was like in support of the raising the stimulus that was going to go out and stuff, and just out of nowhere, just a group of people.
You're beautiful people. I love you. You're very special, but go home. That's what he said. And I was like, I don't know if they're great people. I don't know. But
I don't
Well,
really
the
know.
speech he gave about the people that stormed the Capitol, he was very condemning of that group.
uh
Because if he wasn't,
I
that's
said word for word exactly what he said. I mean, he
no.
said you're very special.
I listened and watched
There
through
was
the
there was a
speech.
few of them, but
Yeah,
he
not the
literally
first
said
one. He
that
wasn't very
he wasn't
heavy-handed on the first
and
one.
here's the issue is that he's like, go home, blah blah blah. But what he still keeps doing is he keeps saying, I won the election, it was a fraud. And then he goes, but don't come storm like he keeps telling these people that he won and he won and he won.
The speech
And
I
like
saw,
that's all that matters. Like, it doesn't matter if he goes, go home. If he's
right.
saying we lost, we won the election, but it's a fraud, but go home. Like they're not gonna go home.
Well, the speech
You know
I
what I
saw,
mean?
he was like very he was very
Yeah,
opposed to what happened, and then he went on to say that he's just looking to have a smooth transition into the new administration.
it's
That
because he got
was
backlash off of after his first
Yeah,
speech
yeah.
yeah.
because
That's after he got
he was
banned on
inciting
Twitter.
violence. Yeah.
But that one was
Speaking of
before
which,
the
Oh
Capitol
shit.
event.
No.
Yeah, the one that I saw,
If you're talking about the one where he was like,
where he was still saying voter fraud.
he gave, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the timeline specifically, but
What were
pretty
you going to
much,
transition into?
I
I was
wanted to
gonna
talk about
say,
him getting banned on Twitter.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like that is. I mean, it's their platform. If they feel
do
like
you think
he
there's
went
any
against the
wrong in
terms
it?
of. I mean, I feel like they're relatively biased, but at the same time, if they feel that he uh didn't uphold their terms of service, then I guess they're within every right to do that.
He was
I
pretty
don't really
clearly
care.
inciting violence, so like I think it was definitely a breach
Yeah,
of the
and like
terms of service as
Yeah.
even
well.
Joe Biden said that he didn't support the BLM riots. Like he literally plain white said it. He didn't say, I don't support the BLM riots, but like blah 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 should never have happened. He literally would just say, I don't support the BLM riots. And it kind of scared me when he said that because I thought he was gonna lose a lot of grounds to win the election. Not
People
saying that he
hated
should have said
Trump
it.
so much that I don't think it would have really damaged his chances
Yeah,
of
I
winning.
agree. Especially like suburban families that are
Yeah,
wealthy. Like that's where Trump lost a lot of ground. A lot of ground.
like a large
I think it's
portion of the voters that showed up to polls for this election were people who were just adamantly going to not vote Trump.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's also important to note since we're talking about people being banned on Twitter. Like Twitter is not a public utility. You do not have the right to free speech on Twitter. They can ban you for whatever they want. as much as we might not like deplatforming. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a private corporation and a
Yeah.
private mode of
You
conversation and expression, and you do not have a right to freedom of speech on that platform. So if you have a
you
problem with
also
that, stop using Twitter. But
yeah.
is
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
exactly what I was saying. Also, I think it's like really stupid because some things that you like, one thing, like Republicans are very laissez-faire, government hands-off company. Like that's their big part of their party platform. But then as soon as a big company decides to basically like defy government rules, which it wasn't, but in the eyes of his supporters, it was,
Yeah.
they all start having a fit like, you can't do that. That's
Well,
suppressing and
you've
all that. It's like,
seen where
dude,
they've wanted to take like Facebook and Twitter and wrap them into being public utilities through
yeah,
legislation. So
no.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember him arguing about that earlier in his when they started putting warnings on his tweets.
yeah,
Like Facebook, for example, they don't, Facebook and Twitter don't put the warnings. Like they have independent fact checkers that do it. And the fact checkers, as the CEOs of the company say, go under like a rigorous checklist to make sure that they are like considered to be like, somewhat decent and, like obviously accurate most of the time, like Politico and stuff like that.
this
So
is
it's not
like
even like Twitter and Facebook that are doing
this
it.
is one of the problems where like I don't know how the Republicans have done it, but they've done this weird thing where they've managed to turn like normal, neutral, like non-biased facts into like the like left
Partisan.
propaganda. Like yeah, like
Yeah, or like
anything that's
partisan shit.
like if you watch, especially any of the major news networks, you'll see them like dance around topics. It's like I don't know how we turned like the election is undecided into like this is leftist like bias fucking
Yeah.
hate speech or some shit. Like it doesn't make sense. We've turned them as
Or
meaningless
mask.
facts
Mask's a
or
good one.
mask or
Like
like
what, how is
oh
that
the
even
planet is
possible?
warming or like any of these like super menial like just
It's dangerous, dude.
That's like part of the scope of politics, right? And journalism right now is just everything is pushed to the extremes. It's not necessarily like
it
black or
also doesn't help that like generally Republicans are less educated than um Democrats, like just via
And that
statistically.
doesn't, yeah. And that
So,
doesn't mean that there's not uneducated Democrats or left
oh no,
leaning
of course
people.
not. I'm just
Cause
saying, like,
like yeah, I've met people at like parties and stuff that have been like, they'll be like, oh, like tell me about yourself, and we'll be talking. We'll like give like our political compasses or whatever. Like a lot of poli sci majors, and they'll just start saying the most like substance lacking shit I've ever heard in my
yeah,
life, and and it's just like, dude, you are so dumb,
of
and it's
course,
just like, yeah,
I've heard that from both sides. It's just I'm just saying, like, not to make like a judgment claim on
it's just a
Republicans.
fact. It's a
I'm just saying
fact. Like,
statistically that Republicans generally aren't as highly educated. Like, if you study someone, if you study education levels, generally, as someone becomes more educated, the more liberal they become.
right,
And I get like also this is like one of those things that we've twisted that like oh liberals have like the Democrats and the leftists have all this influence on colleges and stuff. They have all the professors and they're feeding them lies. That's not really true. What really happens is like the more you tend to understand scientific studies and stuff like that, your your temperament comes down to swing harshly in
right.
one direction or the other. And it's just unfortunate for Republicans that like you know on the lot of scientific issues that they battle, such as like global warming and stuff like that, it just doesn't
He
really
just
come down
not.
on their
Yeah,
side. So
it doesn't really like. It's not really a partisan issue for sure.
yeah, so
I hear that argument a lot. Like, I get in my hometown in Florida, people used to get made fun of for wanting to go to college because they'd be like, "Oh, you're just gonna go get indoctrinated or something," and they all want to go to like, I don't know if you know, like Liberty University, and like I think it's Maryland or Virginia. Like they don't have a mask policy, they don't have anything, and it's like they conservatism has at its roots has completely changed in this country because 30 years ago conservatives wouldn't be idolizing a politician. They don't want like anything to do with the government. They don't want the government to touch their shit. They don't want the government, they want private companies to do whatever the hell they want to with, what I'm saying? So it's just so crazy how it's like they've just flipped so much, like, and
Yeah.
they don't
Well,
realize that they
especially when you
have.
talk like when you go back before the 1940s, kind of the political history. So if you grew up in the South, you've heard of this thing called the Southern Democrat. So, like example, in my small town, most of the local elections are done under like the Democratic ballot box, even though they're ideologically Republican. But what happened? So pre 1940s ish, the parties were swapped of what they are now. So, like, what would you consider your more progressive ideology would have belonged to the Republicans, and your more classical ideology would have belonged to the Democrats. But around the 1940s, there was a formation party called the Dixiecrats who ran this like really racist, basically anti or this segregationist kind of platform through the South. And through those ages, and especially when we got in like the Nixon era and the war on drugs, and Nixon campaign strategists had come out and talked about how they ran the Southern strategy, where they targeted hate for minorities in the South to flip votes to Republicans. Basically, over time you see the parties flip across basically racial lines, and that's how you got Democrats as the more progressive,
Right.
and the anti-segregationists, and then your Republicans were a more racist and like kind of um, conservative party, and that's where that flip comes from, and that's also why we still see things like the idea of the Southern Democrat in the South. What they really mean is a Southern Democrat like pre 1960, 50, 40, but their ideology is
Yeah, and
Republican.
like that's another fact that just gets completely washed away in political argument. Like I've had discussions with people, and you'll tell them that like capitalism is fueled by racism, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, the Democrats started the KKK," and you'll be like, "Well, there's a party swap."
Yeah,
And they'd be like,
that's
"No, there wasn't." And I'd be like, the KKK endorses the Republican Party now. And they'd be like, "Oh, well, that doesn't matter." And I'm like, "Okay." you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of trying to illustrate is like over the past 100 years and even the past 50 years, we've seen like a major flip
Yeah,
flop in party
for sure.
ideology. So, I mean, it's something that ebb and flows, and definitely the Republican Party of now is not the same party of Nixon. Although I don't really revere the party of Nixon either, but this party is definitely not the same. But, the normal values like small government, liberty, and like fiscal conservatism isn't really what we're getting anymore. It's
Yeah,
more just
like the McCain era conservatives and the Romney era conservatives, they're all gone. You know who
yeah.
that the Madison Cawthorn guy, that
Mm-mm.
the House of Representatives, he's like a 26-year-old
Yeah, I saw
House
that.
of Representatives. Like he got elected, and the first thing he tweeted was "Cry more, lib." Like that's what he said, and
Yeah.
it's like,
That's
what?
another thing is like we've actually read a lot of studies in college of how like polarization has increased like dramatically. You used to in like 2000, right? Your vote was mainly swung by independents, but now independents are almost, irrelevant. At least independents by name. Most people are registered to one party or another, and then they'll still flip flop. But before you, like, both parties really had to appeal to the center to get the moderates to flip one way or the other. But it's not really like that anymore. The polarization is
I think that they, I
pretty
think that they,
interesting.
I think that Joe Biden had to this election somewhat. Like he appealed more to the center than he did the leftists. And Donald Trump really appealed to the very right-leaning authoritarianist people more than he did the center. And I think that's why Joe Biden won, right? Because Donald Trump, if he would have said earlier, $2,000 checks for everybody, all of like these like super like not anything a conservative would ever do, I think he could have had a good shot at the election. But Joe Biden really appealed to that like moderate, like center, because he was like, I disagree with the BLM riots. I, like just like completely like against any like leftist policy whatsoever. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. There should be hopefully there won't be any more interesting incidents that happen before the 20th,
I
right?
think
That's
there
when
will
that's when
be.
the inauguration is.
There's got to be something at the
I'm
inauguration. There's
honestly
no way.
pretty worried about the inauguration. I don't
Yeah.
know. We can only hope that there's not an attempt made on anybody's life or anything like that. I would truly hope not. But with the
I mean,
precedent
I'm
that's been
sure the
set so
Secret Service is
far,
scared.
yeah, I'm sure they're just saying with the precedent that we've seen so far with storming the Capitol and stuff like that. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's very
absolutely.
scary.
This year's gonna be better than 2020.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god, dude. Great way to start it off, dude.
Well,
Did
and
you guys see
lighter.
the girl on the Capitol that had the garlic or the onion in the rag and was like, "We stormed the Capitol. It's a revolution." And she was like, "They
Oh,
hit me in the face." That
yeah.
she had an onion in a rag and was rubbing it on her face, so it looked like she got hit and she was crying. Did you
Did you
Was
ever
see
that
the
see
what
that?
it
people
was?
who
That what it was?
set?
I thought she got maced or something.
No, she said she got maced, but she had an onion in a rag and was just rubbing it on her face. You
So she
gotta look
would
at the
cry.
video. Yeah. You gotta look
That's
it up. It's a real
arbitrary.
thing. I swear
Did
to
you see the
God.
people who set up the noose in front of the White House?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
saw
did see
that.
that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, who are you gonna use that on?
You're
Trump? Like, what?
like
I don't know.
like he's not in there yet, bro. That's like the same people that are like, this is what America's gonna look like in the next presidency. Like, bro.
Yeah, every possible thing you could do that could be critiqued from both sides was done. Like I don't understand what they were thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just QAnon supporters. I follow this guy on TikTok that's like his content is like news themed, and he just cuts straight to the point, and he'll be like today he had one that was like, warning, in the next 48 hours you're going to have a lot of Republicans try and tell you that the government is trying to like brainwash us. They are QAnon supporters, and they're going to try and tell you all this, and he's like you cannot change their minds. And it's just so funny that like it's just that prevalent. Like, I did not think there'd be that many QAnon supporters to storm the effing Capitol. Like, what?
I don't know, man. I
I
don't
thought
know
those
how
people
you
were a
expect
myth.
to win with an army of geriatrics anyway. You know, the median age of like a voting Republican is like, 75. I don't know how the fuck you think I'm gonna win that battle, dude.
Maybe that's why they went, because they don't really care anymore. They're like, oh,
Maybe
I need something else interesting to happen in my life.
I ran out of heart medication, so I'm here.
Exactly.
Did you see that meme that was going around on like the meme that was being posted where it was like this guy got excited and like tasered himself in the balls or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that and got a
he
heart
tried to
attack.
sneak a taser in his like ball sack in his like underwear, and when he like fell over or something, it tased him in the nuts and he had a heart attack.
Like, what a way to go out, dude.
That's gotta
What a
be the
way. What a
most.
When you're
martyr.
that,
That's the most American thing ever. It really is.
it does not get more
Like you
American.
you would never see that type of shit like as a headline in Europe or something.
Mm-mm.
Not in a million
Mm-mm.
years. That's why
Never, dude.
That's why this country's so great.
Yeah.
We are ridden with diabetes and tasers in our underwear. It's just a wonderful place to live in.
Like, I don't even like, what was he gonna do with the taser? Like, tase a guard and then like another guard just shoot him? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's crazy,
Like,
man.
is he gonna taser Nancy Pelosi? I was actually worried about
She would not
like
do
them
well with
getting into
that.
all the offices. Like, they got into all the offices, and like I wonder if they like snuck some shit in there, or like,
It's possible.
like, who knows, dude?
Some mail was stolen. Dude, like just a weird thought. Like you said, you wondered if they would have like if they were trying to tase Nancy Pelosi, and I just immediately like pictured her in my head getting tased, and I don't know.
She would probably have a heart attack. She's like 80, right?
I don't know, but it would be so funny.
This
How
guy,
old is she, man? Like,
I have no idea.
I don't know, ancient. with like dinosaur time.
A convulsing Nancy Pelosi with a getting tased by like a 350-pound redneck. That's just a great.
Alex Jones.
I would pay to
putting
see
chemicals
that.
in the water.
Yeah.
Get her. But yeah, pretty
I went to work
crazy
today.
events, man.
And we had this guy come in, and there's like 7 people at the service desk line, and none of them know him. No, none of them have, like acknowledge him. He just walks by and he's like, "Did y'all hear? They found COVID in the ice cream coming out of China." And some guy kind of looked at him and goes, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "Yep, they're weaponizing it. It's stable outside the body now." And he just keeps walking, like gotta go get his fucking ketchup or whatever the fuck he was there to get. It was just
The South, man. It's the South. He
I
probably
was
read
like-
some Facebook post that was like super like it'd been reposted like 10,000 times, and it's like you know how like that, you know how like when you repost shit, it like starts to get like hard boiled, and it like looks like I can't think of the word, and it was like the Chinese are now weaponizing COVID in ice cream, and he is like his like 80-year-old sister-in-law like reposted it, so he's like, damn it, it's true.
Yeah.
The funniest part about all of it, it was probably some fucking liberal who made that meme.
Yeah, as a joke, like like the joke was like they put COVID in the ice cream. If you eat this ice cream, you're gonna get COVID now. And then they were like, oh wow, it's probably true.
Those are
I
the
don't
same
know.
types of people that like the people that believe that are the same group of people that thought that like Corona, the beer, was harmful to drink after the
Dude.
pandemic became so prevalent.
Did their sales like go down?
Yeah, they plummeted hard.
I hope they're okay now. Are they like chilling?
I don't know. They made $12 from
Yeah,
me
the
the other
virus
day.
or the vaccine is out.
Yeah,
Thank God.
they're slipping a little bit of the vaccine and the Pfizer vaccine in every bottle of Corona
Damn.
now. Yeah,
How many do you have to drink to get like the full treatment? Probably like a 24 pack and you're
6-pack.
good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Gavin's
6-pack?
working on it though.
Yeah, I already completed that task, and I don't feel COVID free
Nice.
yet, so might have to go get some
Actually,
more.
My mom's a frontline worker, and a lot of her friends are frontline workers, and a lot of my friends are frontline workers because I'm a pre-med student. So like I live in a living learning community. So like all of the people here like are do frontline stuff, and they all got vaccinated, and it doesn't show symptoms for the first month until once you get the second shot is when you start seeing symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've had friends that were like, oh, I feel fine, nothing. And I've also had friends that were like vomiting, like 102-degree fevers, like
All the good
I don't
stuff.
know, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hopefully strong will survive.
you want it. You want to have like a reaction to it. Like you don't want.
Oh, of course. Everybody
It means
loves
you
to
have an
vomit.
Well, it just means you're having an immune response, which is good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are you guys gonna take
You
it?
could not go through that.
Yeah, my
You guys gonna
grandmother
take
asked
it?
me because she works in the healthcare industry, and she's like, she'll have to get a vaccine because they'll give it to her, and she's like, when the second wave comes out, do you want one? I was like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to like take one for like any old people who need it. She was like, no, I just wanted to make sure that if it comes out and is available for you, that you would want to take one. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sure, that sounds fine with me. Just let me know. I don't.
Are your
Yeah, I'm good.
aren't your grandparents like super Republican though?
One of them is, and the other one's something.
Indifferent.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you got to realize,
All
like,
over the place.
My grandfather's like 70 and grew up on a farm, and my fucking, these are just people who don't really think about politics too much.
Yeah, he's probably not a big fan of Waka Flocka. Yeah.
Probably not.
Nah.
He liked that guy who was the white country rapper
What?
who did that
So-
song like Chicken and Biscuits and that song like Titties Beer. He really liked that song.
Is it Toby something?
No, titties beer.
Now you gotta
Hold on.
find out because I don't know what you're talking. I thought you were gonna talk about Lil Nas X.
Yeah,
but
Lil
you said
Nas
white,
X.
so because
That's
his
what I was trying to
music is
think of.
like it's like country rap.
But he has
Oh my
one
God.
song that's country rap.
No, he has a few of them.
I haven't heard
Colt
another
Ford.
song that
Colt
was
Ford.
the
What's his name?
that was that
Colt
word.
Ford.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
But he did a song. He did a lot of songs that got popular for a while, but he did like that song "Teddy's Beer," and he did um chicken a bit. I don't know. It was just some stupid shit, but they got like
I
that
just can't
album.
listen to country in any form. I'm gonna be honest. I just can't do it.
I like some country, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Listen to this lyricism. Teddy's beer. Just the thing you get grinning ear to ear. Whether you're from the country or the big old city, one thing's for sure, everybody loves titties. He had his marketing plan worked up. He's gonna sell them in big old jugs. Ha 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 ha. He wouldn't package them in a six pack. He was gonna sell them by the pair and call it a rack.
Bars.
So like
Good
he
job,
actually
Colt.
avidly listens to that.
I mean,
No,
not
I don't think
anymore,
he
but
was.
I
Did he avidly listen to it at one point, or was he just like
I
accepting
mean,
of
like
it?
I mean, when like
He's
they had like a CD or something, and
Ye-
like he listened to it for a few times, and he would kind of like giggle as his pea brain. That
Yeah,
it's
he was
just
like
fun, but
it's I'll let this one slide.
I mean, to be honest, pretty much all he does is take insulin shots and watch Gunsmoke. That's pretty much. I mean, yeah.
That sounds
I mean,
peaceful, dude.
That's all anyone
it
can
is.
really
I mean,
hope for.
he's very happy, and he does his work on his property, and he's very nice and has a lot of cool stories because he was a veteran and he worked for the state for a long time, and but he's not very politically engaged. I mean, that's just
It's
not it's
hard.
not what he knows.
It's hard when, like you have family members that are like 60, 70, 80 years old and they're just so racist.
Yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like they literally grew up during civil rights. Like my relatives
yeah.
in Memphis, like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like the sanitation strikes, but it was basically like in Memphis during the Jim Crow era, African Americans predominantly worked like cleaning jobs. Like they would clean the floors of public areas, they would clean restrooms, they would clean restaurants. Like that, they were like that was the job that they had because they couldn't get any good jobs. And during the civil rights movement to get rid of Jim Crow laws, they all did what was called the sanitation strike, and all the sanitation workers, like the ones that clean the streets as well, they all were just like, we're not coming into work. So like everything was just filthy. I mean, just disgusting. And like my aunts were like kids at the time. So all they knew was that like, the black people weren't doing their job and they were like, leaving everything dirty. And like now they've grown up and they're like not as racist as they used to be. Like they're a lot more like opening and accepting, but like my grandpa is horrible. They're all like, and it's just like, what are you gonna do, dude? Like I can't talk
Yeah.
any sense into them. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I
hard to
mean?
change people's opinions or that'll. I mean, like I said, he grew up on a farm, and like it's in the deep south, like super impoverished. Like it's just not.
He's also not storming the Capitol, so like it's okay.
Yeah, no.
Like
So,
like
but like it's very strange because like when he talks about some of his best friends he ever had, they were black, right? So like one of his favorite people that he talks about all the time that he used to work with the state was like this black guy named Theo. But like simultaneously, he'll also get really mad if like a black person wins Jeopardy. He's always
it's like selective, which
he's like, I
is
can't
something
believe
I've
this
had to find
black
out.
person won. I was like, well, maybe if the white people would have been fucking smarter, they would have won.
It's so crazy because like my Uncle Jim, like he'll see a black dude walking out in his front yard and he'll like close the blinds. And I'm like, Uncle Jim, we live in Memphis. It's like 75% African American. Like what? And it's like, dude, what is wrong with you?
The
And
most
You
it's
think he's
just
closing
like
the blinds out of spite?
he's closing the blinds because he feels probably like unsafe. I don't know. It's the thing. It's weird though because it's selective. Because like my Uncle Jim will like say the most racist shit in the world, and then he'll be like, "Oh well, 10 years ago there was this there's this class of black kids at the local elementary school, and I bought them all like shoes or something. And I'm like, Uncle Jim, that doesn't change the fact that you just said the most racist shit ever.
Yeah.
Like they try and like bargain with themselves. Like, I'm not racist. I picked up a $10 bill that a black dude dropped once and gave it back to him. It's like, dude, that's not how racism works. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's how they
No.
think.
I think like the most fun thing you can do is like trigger them. So like what I'll do is like they'll talk about like, oh well, Joe Biden's never gonna make it through his term. He's so old, he's gonna die. And then I'll be like, and I can't wait to have a black woman president. And then they're like, are you? Yeah, they're like, are you really okay with that? I'm like, hell yeah, I love it. Give me some more.
I would do it more, but we're always at like Thanksgiving or Christmas or something when they're around. I don't want
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
don't-
like the turkey to be put on the table and just be like, what do you guys think about Kamala Harris? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
And
like
everyone-
I'm a political science major, so it's like when people start bringing up politics at like family gatherings, they know that what they're getting into.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like,
they
okay,
know
you
not
asked for it. Like, here you go. I'm gonna start triggering all of you. It's like they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait for the first black woman president. I hope the next one's Muslim, granddad.
Oh my gosh. Like, oh no. Imagine, that'd be so terrifying. It's so funny though, like, I don't know. I do that though. Like, I'll always come on over to like my aunt's house and my uncle will be watching Fox News. And I'll always say some shit like, did you see Trump got banned on Twitter? And he'll say something like, damn communist. And it's just so funny to get a reaction. It's like, what are you gonna do, man?
I just try to avoid that as much as possible if I'm ever at my grandparents' house. I think they single-handedly may have put him in office in the first place. I've never seen
Who, Donald Trump?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen so much love for one person that doesn't know they exist.
Are they like, do they have like a Trump flag in their yard and stuff?
Surprisingly, no. But that's probably just because they want to avoid vandalism from anybody around. Yeah, I don't. I always thought it's hard to fathom like why somebody would want to like put somebody like Donald Trump on a pedestal that high. Like he's
It's also very strange because like, I was a big Bernie fan, but I didn't like buy a gray cap wig and some like Coke bottle glasses and start yelling at birds or something like it. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's like a phenomenon with just Donald Trump. His supporters,
like
are
I don't even have a band
so
shirt.
Avid about
Like
it.
any of the band.
I have a Biden shirt, and the reason why I bought a Biden shirt was because one, it helps his campaign, and two, where I live in Alabama, there's just Trump shirts everywhere, and it's really funny because as soon as like someone sees you wearing a Biden shirt, they'll be so nasty to you, and it's like they act like they've never seen somebody wearing a political shirt in their life before. Like they'll be like, why do you have to wear a shirt on why do you have to wear a shirt on politics?
Yeah.
Like that's so weird. And I'm like, bro, hello? Like what? There's like 20 red hats in this room. Like, hello? Like what are you talking about, dude? And as soon as Joe Biden won the election, I threw that away. I threw the signs away. I threw everything away. Because I didn't want to be fucking weird.
It's just weird, like, like I said, most people would get a bumper sticker or maybe a shirt, maybe put a sign in their yard. Like around here, like we have like full like fucking, like big ass signs with lights all around them, like hand painted on the lawns and like decals on the truck and
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. It's
You think they're gonna take them off?
Probably not.
no. That's the funny thing is like
It's
they're
'cause,
all
like, it's
they're
like
all still
Reagan.
up.
They're so prideful.
You know the Reagan era, like the Reagan era was similar to Trump's, but not nearly as extreme and like fascist. But like the Reagan era, I still see Reagan Bush shirts, like Reagan Bush 84. You know what I mean?
It's really
I've
funny
seen-
too because it's like, Reagan really didn't do very much.
Yeah.
He kind of put in like
Yeah.
a really shitty economic policy that kind of crippled.
Trickle down economics.
Yeah, he kind of fucking crippled the economy for a few years, and like, he did some cool stuff with Russia, but that really wasn't very much to do with him. It had a lot to do with just like
He ignored
Russia
the AIDS
starving
pandemic
and
as well.
Yeah. Mr.
Yeah,
Gorbachev.
Mr.
But yeah, it's
Gorbachev.
like I think it starts when somebody that's not a politician goes, because Reagan was a celebrity. Just like Trump
Yeah.
was. And all the first thing that these people think is, oh my God, they're gonna drain the swamp. Oh my God. Oh my, you know what I mean? Like they think that they're gonna like drain the swamp as like.
It also probably didn't. It probably didn't hurt that he survived an assassination attempt and didn't have access to Twitter. That's
You know what
probably
the funny thing is though? Not even Reagan can remember what he did in office.
Yeah. It was very funny.
I
It's
saw a
me.
meme and it
I'm
was
laughing.
like-
Well, you
I
don't
saw a
remember like the
meme and
Family
it
Guy
was-
skit where he was like punching the Burger King wall?
No, I don't remember.
No, I
He was
don't.
like, so if anybody doesn't know, like Reagan has dementia or had dementia or Alzheimer's. So, but there's like this Family Guy skit where he's outside of like a Burger King and he's like punching the brick wall and he's like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, and then he just falls asleep on the pavement because he gets tired and he's like, Reagan
Right, yeah.
tired.
I saw a meme of Reagan once, and it was like Reagan in hell waiting for that heaven to trickle down on him.
Oh no.
That was a good one.
Oh my god. That's horrible.
Yeah.
We've been talking about
But I think that's
politics
the
for like
stem of
the
it,
better
bro.
part of the entire first
because-
40 minutes. This is
Because,
All right,
dude,
let's lighten it up a little bit. Do y'all know George W. Bush is actually like a really avid painter?
Is he really?
He really is, and his
Finger
and his,
paintings, right?
I'm not sure.
He
That would be
strikes me as
funny.
a finger painter.
It's one of those little fun
check
facts.
out
that
another
is-
one of his paintings I did.
I seems more of a watercolor kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but in his time after office, he's actually dedicated a lot of his spare time to painting. He really likes to do it in his garden.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's one of
Remember when
those.
Jim Carrey went off the deep end?
What, his girlfriend died
He's
or
still
whatever?
off the deep end, right? A
Well,
little
yeah,
bit?
but he
He's
did like
done
that
so much.
interview.
He's done so much
Oh
method
my
acting
God.
that he's just like fucked.
Dude, no, I saw a video on this, and it was like a QAnon video. It was so funny. I don't think it was QAnon. It was more like Illuminati, which is technically not the same thing as QAnon, but it's like the same premise. And it was basically like he went on one of those like talking night shows like Jimmy Kimmel or like Fallon or whatever. And he did like the Illuminati symbol where they like they do that or whatever. And then like his girlfriend died like a year later, and all these people were like, "Oh my God, he exposed the Illuminati and they killed his girlfriend." And like then he like went off the deep end or whatever. But he like still hasn't recovered apparently, I guess. I don't
Was
know.
that pre or post mask?
Wait, what?
Had to be post. Mask came out in like '96 or something. My guy.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
the
that
mask-
does make sense because
The mask came out before any of us were born.
Cameron Diaz was like 16
Did
in
it
that.
really?
Yeah.
Are we
Pretty
sure?
sure.
About that?
See, I don't
I'm
remember
almost certain.
I don't remember like the whole meltdown thing with Jim Carrey. I always just kind of assumed that he was
Dude.
always going off the deep end from all like the
It was
method acting and stuff.
94.
Wow.
Yeah, I was about to say it was before any of us were born.
The Mask was great. Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah, of course I saw it. It was
Yeah,
it's
of course.
classic.
It used to fucking terrorize me as a kid.
Don't bother watching the sequel if you haven't
The
already
son of
seen
the
it.
mask or whatever.
Oh, it's horrendous. I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever
that
wanted to
was pretty
gouge.
bad.
I don't think I've ever wanted to gouge my eyeballs out more after watching a movie before. Well, Little
I went
Nicky
on
was
a-
pretty bad. That was,
Was Jim
yeah.
Carrey in it as well?
No, that was an Adam Sandler movie, not one of his
What was-
No.
brightest ones.
What was that movie where like that
Had a good soundtrack.
little
though.
guy that midget black guy
Little
pretended
Man.
to be a yeah,
Mhm.
that was a real
That
bad
was
movie.
bad too. Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all ever watch Spanglish?
No.
Yeah, no, don't watch that either. It has Adam Sandler in it. It's like a rom-com kind of, but
Yeah, you lost me there.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's crazy because like all you see is like Adam Sandler's such a great actor, but he's got so many bad movies.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
bad
because
ones.
like while you were growing up, the only thing you ever saw was like Click and After, which is like shit Adam
Or
Sandler.
like Grown-Ups.
Yeah, like Click and After Adam Sandler is not the same Adam Sandler that was like classics like The Longest Yard, like that's a classic. Billy Madison, that's a
The
classic.
Longest Yard is amazing.
Hold on
Fuck,
one
what's that golf
second.
movie? Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
Happy
Gilmore.
Gilmore,
That's
that's a
a
good movie.
hell of a classic.
You know what? An interesting thing that I just found out: you can mute a conversation on Discord, but still receive a phone call. That's fucking incredible. I absolutely loathe that. What were we talking about? Shitty Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah.
Click was pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, that movie was so bad.
I like watched that.
I
when
don't
was
like
little, but
grown-ups.
I don't really remember that much about it.
Unpopular
I think
opinion.
It was somewhat funny, but not really. It was
No,
pretty
it's not
corny most
funny.
of the time.
Did y'all watch
Yeah,
Hot
it's-
Dog Party?
Oh, Seth Rogen's directorial debut or whatever.
with the food orgy at the end? Like
That was great.
the last 15 minutes of that movie is like assorted anthropomorphized like supermarket food items being like having a giant orgy. Like there's
Yeah.
like the hot dog is like squeezing in between the hot dog buns over and over, and like the ketchup and mayonnaise things are like squirting on you. It's so fucking weird. And then like there's like the hot sauce is like Mexican, so it's like all like kind of racist too, because like the hot sauce talks like these. And then like there's a fucking like an Indian one too. It's so fucking weird. I think the cigarettes are, or no, the alcohol is the Indians, right? It's like it's
I
like
have
so
no
racist
idea.
and weird.
What
It's so
the hell?
strange.
I haven't
It's not
seen it
good
in a
either. Don't
while.
watch it.
I didn't
What
think it
about
was
that,
as bad as any of the Adam Sandler movies that we just listed, though.
Wait, what about the Adam Sandler movie that was like the two kids that were like dreaming, like they would dream shit and it would happen, or it was like bedtime
Shark
stories.
Boy
Have
and
you
Lava
seen
Girl.
It was called
But
Bedtime
no.
Stories.
that? Bedtime stories. Yeah, that movie was garbage.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I don't think I
It
saw
was
that.
horrible. Horrible. I don't know how shit like that would even make money.
People will. I don't know. I feel like people who like still go to the movies will watch anything. They just eat that shit up, like literal garbage. They're just walking garbage disposals.
What about like the
I don't know.
Transformers series?
Yeah.
like the first couple ones were like really really good, and then it's just
Were they
'cause,
though?
I thought they were horrible. I thought that the last few were miserably bad.
The first one's cool. There's a lot of explosions and CGI and super hot steamy shots of an underage Megan Fox. Yeah. Michael Bay was very adamant about shooting that car scene with an underage girl.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. Surprised that he hasn't
Yeah.
been canceled yet.
She has weird toes, right? Megan Fox.
No, she's got toe thumbs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I
got,
don't
like,
know.
like
I don't-
weird looking thumbs or something. Maybe we shouldn't be body shaming on the podcast, but
Hey,
I don't think that's. I had a teacher
I-
that had webbed hands, and all the kids would ask her all day, "Can you swim better?" She'd be like, "No, I can't."
yeah, the toe thumbs are kind of weird, but I could probably still get down with it. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
No,
I disagree.
You don't think Megan Fox is attractive?
You think she throws a mad punch with those big ass hands?
I don't know. She probably has like singular shoes for just her thumbs. She just walks around with like specialized gloves, but it's just for the toe thumbs.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I guess I'll never know. Neither any of us won't know because we'll never talk to a woman that attractive in our lives.
She's probably like a 7. And the only reason
Whoa,
and the
whoa,
only
whoa.
reason I say that is because she looks like she would exude that stereotypical like celebrity energy, just like super stuck up and
Probably.
like yeah, I don't know.
Like, she
I could
expects
be
you to be
completely
a
wrong.
fan.
Megan Fox, if you're listening, which I highly doubt you are, I want your toe thumbs.
I just want to date. I don't want your toe thumbs. She has got a lot of plastic surgery work though. I'm like looking at pictures. Her. She looks a lot different.
Has she? I feel like that's like
Oh, yeah.
every single female actress.
y'all remember
think
when the
so?
Pain Olympics was a thing?
The Pain Olympics.
To watch or partake in.
But watch. Remember when that video started circulating? And like people putting screwdrivers in their dick holes and like
Oh yeah, I remember
chopping their
that.
dicks up with like carrot slicers.
Yeah. Those
Y'all
are
are probably
great.
wondering that's a weird segue, but I don't know.
Why,
I
is
was
there is there a new video out or something?
no, just
Is there a new season?
when y'all were talking about
Is there a new
Megan Fox, all I could
challenge?
think about were those like toe thumbs like getting shoved into Gavin's like dick hole. Because when he was like,
Wow.
I want those toe thumbs, that's like all I could think about was like,
I remember like when I was in elementary school, kids would be like, "Yo, look up this in Safari or Google," and it would be like 2 girls, 1 cup or something, and it was just like, ugh, it was like
you
the
remember
pain went to go.
meatspin.com?
Yeah, like
See,
You
that.
would go to
That was one of
Meatspin and it was just some guy helicoptering his dick. I don't know.
That's the type of shit that is why this generation is just completely desensitized to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like for real. Shit is
Like-
Bro, I've seen some
horrible.
horrible shit, and
Oh,
like I'll
like
click on
live
any
feed.
link, and now I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's why I was like when that video came out of the girl at the Capitol getting shot. Like, obviously it's tragic, right? But I guess I'm just so desensitized. I just didn't even phase me. I went back to like scrolling through memes or whatever.
Yeah, like I saw
Yeah.
it on TikTok, and I like watched it, and I was like, huh, and I like scrolled past it, and I was like, scroll back down, like, did somebody just die?
Yeah.
Did I just witness a murder?
Dog water, you're literally free. You're literally
Yeah.
freer than $1. You're freer than a Costco sample.
Literally no earnings, the old dog shit.
Earnings check, oh wait, you have none.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that same one.
I was just I was like, huh? Hold on, let me go back up.
Yeah.
Did someone die in this? Is that what I?
Dude, and I don't think it's because of like gaming or anything. I think it's literally like for me, like my siblings would like make me watch Live League shit when I was younger. Like,
Yeah, but also like I seen like Bud Dwyer's suicide. Like
Yeah.
you see some horrible shit on Twitter. It's just like I don't know. It's just
That was the first I think that was one of the first fucked up things I saw was the Bud Dwyer shooting himself. Which
It
is
was the
first-
also relatively tragic, but there's a pretty damn good song that came out from it, so
yeah.
I guess every morbid incident has a upside.
You know the full story behind that, right?
Yeah, he was like what was he even accused of? He was a secretary treasurer of the state, right? And he was like getting accused of laundering a shit ton of money or something.
Yeah, so he killed himself on national television, like the first person to ever do a televised suicide. He's actually like I believe he's one of the reasons that we have so in studios they'll like record with a like kind of a delay so they can cut out anything really bad that happens. And I think
Right.
that's
Yeah.
one of the big reasons, along with I don't know who was it at the Super Bowl, but Janet Jackson. Anyway, but turns out what was it? What's the name of that band that
Filter.
Filter.
Great band, by the way. I like that band a lot.
wrote that song? Like the
Hey Man, Nice Shot.
Nice Shot. Yeah, that song is based off of the Bud Dwyer. Turns out he didn't
was
do any of it.
Yeah, he was innocent.
He was innocent. Yeah.
It's pretty messed up.
So
wow. That's horrible.
Yeah, because
I don't-
he was gonna
I
go
don't
to
know.
prison for like a really long time, so
mhm.
it's pretty
Yeah,
fucked up.
dude. I mean, I saw there was actually one that surfaced recently, and it was just this dude sitting in his home.
I
and he
saw
was
that
just
as
taking a
well.
he put a double barrel shotgun under his chin.
Yeah.
And I don't even ask me how that I saw that on
It was
TikTok.
probably
It
yeah,
was like,
that was like
you
a
think
super
that the-
controversial thing because a lot of kids were seeing it
yeah, and it's
Yeah, but a
like-
lot of people are making new accounts and like reposting
and just
so
reposting
they
it.
get
Yeah.
the feeds.
yeah, because
Oh
was
god.
like- I wasn't ready for it because like you guys had seen a televised suicide, but I'd never seen one before like that. Like the person.
Well, that
literally
was a lot more grotesque than the Bud Dwyer one because his head was literally like in shambles. But
Severed, yeah,
yeah, but Bud Dwyer was just. I mean, he had a pistol, so it was a lot different than.
It was also, like 1980s or some shit. Whenever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like HD. Like that dude's
Yeah,
rep
yeah.
came with, like, HD.
I mean, it
and,
was
like,
clear enough, and for some reason, the camera guy panned down to his body after it just like drooped down.
And that guy,
Yeah.
you hear a guy like, somebody call an ambulance.
Yeah, I don't think
No?
he's gonna need an ambulance, compadre.
You actually can't pronounce somebody dead until they're in the hospital bed dead. So you always call one. But yeah, it seems pretty stupid.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've seen like a lot of fucked. Like, remember when we saw that Twitter video of like that kid getting shot because he had like fucked some cop's daughter
Yeah,
in the woods in like South America, and then like the next video is like him getting shot on the pavement.
he was
multiple
tied up
times.
and getting shot at. Yeah,
That's crazy. I did not see that one.
there's
Yeah,
crazy shit, man. Humans are fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
That's what happens, though. It's It's quite unlucky. Maybe we should talk about something a little bit less morbid. And
Well, this started off by George W. Bush being a painter. I don't know how y'all morphed it into this shit, but
I don't
tried.
know. That was an incredible transition. It's just a solid like 10 minutes of talking about like
I
televised
can't
and
wait
recorded.
to rewatch this and do the chapters, the timestamps, and try to figure out what the fuck.
Honestly, this episode for me is kind of I don't know if you guys are feeling it too, but like 2 weeks without going with recording or 2 weeks going without recording an episode. It's just I'm right now super low energy. I gotta get back into the groove, and I'm trying my hardest not to think of the most morbid shit to just add to this conversation.
It's been crazy, and I know life's been crazy for everybody right now, but
Yeah.
I just moved back to college.
School's back in session. You just moved back in, as people see from your change of living space.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
My semester starts tomorrow. Austin's semester has already started.
I graduated
Times.
this semester.
Ooh, I forgot about
Very
that. It's pretty
nice.
exciting.
It's a very good thing. I think you'll feel really cool about it whenever you're finally done with it.
Yeah. Oh,
did you guys see Ubisoft has acquired the rights to develop an open world Star Wars game? Or am I the only person that's excited about that?
Bad.
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to.
They're going to fuck it up so bad, dude.
Honestly, like, I think if like the new IP is gonna really help, because they've kind of had the same formula for like the past like 85 Far Cry games, but I think this new IP is gonna maybe just plant a little seed of creativity in their French Canadian brains. I don't know. I'm assuming it's gonna be Ubisoft Montreal.
Jedi on it. They said it's not gonna have any Jedi on it, right?
I don't think they said that. If they said that, they can go fuck themselves.
I think I read an article.
It's gonna have like a ton of RPG elements. There's no way they're not gonna have like force powers or Jedi or lightsabers or anything like that. Although I think it would be cool to be able to like be a bounty hunter and like go around and do shit like that.
I don't know where I read that, but I've only read something about them not wanting it to make it like super like Jedi, and because like the Jedi are like mad OP, like like you're a Jedi, like you ain't dying to anybody. So I don't know. We'll see though. I'm excited. I hope they don't fuck it up, because like the recent Battlefronts have been shit, and I want a cool.
But that was EA.
Yeah.
And EA still shares. They have like a joint license agreement, so EA can still develop stuff for Star Wars, but now Ubisoft is able to develop a new IP for it. I don't know. It should be interesting to see what they come out with. Fable 4. I haven't seen much on that recently, but they did tease it. I'm super excited about that. Is there any other games you guys are going to come out soon, or have been teased at all? I know Elder Scrolls.
Hitman 3, right? Hitman 3 is coming out soon.
Is it? I haven't played I haven't played a Hitman game in a very long time. Austin likes the Hitman games.
Yeah, the new ones are pretty cool.
The new one, there's a new one coming out really soon. I saw XQC talking about it because he wanted to play it on stream. I haven't really been playing anything like new though. I've just been playing Smite and Rust.
Oh, Austin, I've been playing something new, which I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I want to advertise unless they reach out to me first. Fuck them. Raid Shadow
Starts
Legends.
with Raid and ends with
Shadow Legends.
Unleash your inner champion.
Unleash your inner wallet. Holy dude.
These motherfuckers have been trying to get me to use their like
referral
code for like a week.
I'll post mine in the video description if anybody is interested in playing.
Yeah, I'll be managing the upload, so I'll make sure that I only have permission to post my link. If any of you are out there interested in
a mobile game, cut and copy and pasted to a PC client.
I do.
Playing it right now.
I am enjoying it though.
You're playing it right now?
Yeah.
He's unleashing his inner champion.
It's fun.
Man. It looks so good.
It's like an AFK game. I don't know. It's
like Blue and Sour Defense.
No. Sadly.
No, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't
Yeah.
understand.
I haven't unleashed my inner champion yet. Maybe one day.
It's fun. It's a money grab. I wouldn't suggest getting into it unless you really like this type of game. And the type of game this is hard to describe. It's
Isn't it
just
like a turn-based like PvP game?
Yeah, kind
No.
of. Well, a little bit, right? Well,
Kinda,
it's not turn-based for
yeah.
us because we just fucking sit there and auto do it.
Yeah. It's got some active elements, but basically what you're trying to do is increase your hero power and
You're trying to
open up
unleash your inner champion.
like rare champions and then get more power so you can do more things and get more items to make your numbers go up. And then with those numbers, you beat more things that give you new things that make your numbers go up. And that's, it's.
So how do you win? Do you
Oh,
ever?
you don't. You win by emptying your bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that means the company wins, dude.
We're well on our way to winning.
Yeah, it's kind of like a casino. The house always wins.
Yeah. You can pretend like you break even every time, but you just
You just don't.
always lose money. Yup.
What do you guys have any more talking points that you want to go over for this episode?
I think I got enough violent video and political
Yeah,
talk
this one was pretty depressing, huh?
Yeah, I feel like that's like kind of on par with the vibe right now. We got a couple of tired gamers here. The minds aren't actively thinking properly, and so
It's been pretty doom and gloom in the world right now, anyway. So
yeah, that probably doesn't help either. But
Yeah.
maybe next episode we can refrain from describing in detail all the amazing suicide videos we've watched.
I looked at the video that you guys were talking about.
The R. Bud Dwyer video. Oh, it's a classic.
I just looked it up while we were talking about it. That's why I was like zoned out for a second. And I mean, it was bad, but it was like not HD like that. The other one I saw was horrible, and like the dude's little like dog was like walking behind him. It was horrible. But yeah, that's all I can talk about.
Yeah, wonderful.
Tag that on the end, right?
Amazing.
Amazing.
I cannot wait for this video to get flagged.
I think it will, dude.
It's not like we're making ad revenue off of it anyway.
Yeah. But hopefully soon we can. If you guys would give this video a like, maybe leave a comment, subscribe to us, follow our social medias, follow me on my personal Twitter for that amazing segue. And I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for watching.